Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in. We are live in downtown Las Vegas here on Masters Week. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard coming up in this hour. Mike Palm's going to join the program, VP of this great property. He also was involved in the game last night.
Yeah, he was.
You called it the worst beat that you could ever remember, like in any sport. So bad one there for Mike Palm. I'm sure he'd like to rant on that for a little bit. In Major League Baseball today, love days like this. What do we have? I think 9 day games. At least 4 of them in the books already. And let's check here. The Texas Cubs game looks like it went over 7.5. So 6-2 final score Texas there. Unders 3-1 so far. That game just got over. This is trending in the wrong direction for me, and I think a lot of other people as well. Currently speaking, in the 6th inning in Sacramento, the A's are trailing the Padres 2-1. And the Padres have 10 hits, and they have 2 runs. That is a bad recipe to eventually win ball games, obviously. And I bet it again last night, and I think anybody, if you were on it last week to begin the season with A's home games in Sacramento, you got to keep going until you maybe lose a couple or the numbers get a little bit too high. I bet over 9.5 today. Not looking good, but I'm okay with that. And here's the guy I was talking about before the break. Giants are a great story, but curtains here for Justin Verlander. In his last start against the Mariners, he lasted 2 1/3. He gave up 5 hits, 3 earned. He walked a couple, only struck out a couple, and he was wildly ineffective. Today, at home against the Reds offense, Pauly, let's be honest, other than like basically one game, they've been non-existent. 5 innings, 5 hits, 5 earned. He did strike out 7, so I'll have to look a little bit deeper into that game overall. But the ERA right now for Justin Verlander is 7.3 on the year, and the whip is 1.62. Maybe this Giants team is really good this year, and they could, be a factor come playoff time if they make it. But this guy can't be trotted out there every 5 days if this is who he's going to be. That'll be tough to overcome.
I'm with you.
Because even when Logan Webb was awesome the other day, the offense gave them absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm. Castillo getting lit up, too. 4-0 Astros. The other Castillo. And that's in the 3rd inning.
He's Luis Castillo, number 2.
Yes.
So
total 8.5 now in play.
This was Hunter Brown going for the Astros. And we talked about this earlier with the Mariners and how bad they were again last night. 1 run, 19 strikeouts. Come on, guys. And they were 1 of 19 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, hitting 121 on the season with runners in scoring position.
So they are going to that's unreal. They are going to the bottom of the 3rd right now. Looks like a glorious day in Seattle. But the Astros lead 4-0. The Mariners do not have a hit. And the way this game is trending, if they lose the first 5 here, they will be 1-11-1 in the first 5 this year. All tickets pay the same. You might not be able to get down as much money on a first 5 as you can for a full game.
Sure, well said.
But if you peck away at props and at stuff like this, the first 3, the first 5, man, you can have a great baseball season.
Mm-hmm.
Team can't hit. It's a great recipe.
That's right. That's right. And some other great numbers here. Ryan goes against the Royals. 6-0 with a 1.49 ERA. 8 starts against Kansas City. His team has won all of them. They couldn't do anything last night. Although we've talked about their issues against lefties. Lugo goes for the Royals. And I got to say, Brewers are hot. Brewers are won 6 of 7. And they're a short price tonight, too, in Colorado against Sensatella.
Now,
I don't mind taking the Brewers as well. Even though this Colorado starters ERA thing has been crazy.
I know.
What they've done. The problem's been the bullpen. But I keep Milwaukee to win 6 out of 7 here. I thought they'd be awful, but certainly I think when it's all said and done, the Cubs should run away with that division.
Let me run this by you. So different books now offer the most wins per month in Major League Baseball by a team. Circa does it. They've been doing it for a long time. Caesars does it. DraftKings is not in Nevada, but DraftKings also offers it. So this year, Circa was offering most wins in March and April. Caesars, it was only April. The Brewers at Caesars for April was 14-1.
Okay.
The Brewers for March and April here at Circa was plus 1950. I thought they would get 1, maybe 2 against the Yankees right away. because I like the pitching matchups.
You like Cortez?
And then I found out about the torpedo bats
Right.
after making the bet. So I have them most wins March, April, which they're going to have to win out to beat some of these teams. I don't have them for most wins in April, and they've been red hot against a weak schedule. And the whole schedule in April was one of the weakest in the entire, coming in based on win totals and how teams were last year. Mm-hmm. That'll be a fun one. I'm looking right now. You had great numbers there in Joe Ryan.
Nuts. Owned them. Total 7.5 too, by the way. Total ownage.
I'm trying to find a Joe Ryan to record the win prop.
That's good.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Because that will always pay a pretty decent price when it's not, an elite pitcher going against starter number 4 on a certain bad team. So that might be an angle if you want to do that tonight. And by the way, they're taking on Lugo, righty, not lefty.
Right. That's the key.
And so the Twins have no chance against lefties this year.
What do you think? What are we doing with the Red Sox now? Maybe Toronto's okay. So that's they were so hot coming in, and now Toronto's got the best of them here. And how it goes today for the Red Sox? $1.25 against Gossman.
Here's a good angle from our buddy Kevin Rogers. 9 straight unders, first 5 for the Blue Jays.
Excellent. That's good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, all right. That's strong. What do we got? Okay.
I can also give you some other first 5 stuff here. Now, this was so the Cubs did not win the first 5 today. They dropped to 10-4. Giants are going to be a loser. I think they might be a loser already. They were 7-2-2 entering today. Yeah, it's top of the 6th now, so they're now 7-3-2. The Rangers played the Cubs, so they jump up now to 8-3-2 on the year. Blue Jays, I just mentioned, 9 straight unders first 5. They're 7-4-1 in the first 5. And the Phillies, how about that game last night? Phillies are 7-4 first 5. So you get a complete slugfest.
I know.
Between Wheeler and Sale on the mound.
Why does it always happen?
Right?
I know it's early, but and certainly they haven't been like, Gibson or Gooden in their prime, but it seems like when 2 elite pitchers go head-to-head, it's a high-scoring game.
Mm-hmm. So what else are you looking at later on tonight then?
I like the Twins, as I mentioned,
right.
And the other one is what do we do with the Angels if you're buying them? With the start there off, too, and Kikuchi goes, and he's a plus 125 dog and a total of 8. And the issues last night, as I talked about with the Rays, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, guy on third, nobody out, couldn't get him in. But I would think that they got the sense of urgency here too, that you have 13 in a row at home now, 19 of your first 22 are at home. So with this front-loaded schedule and all these road games coming up, you better get off to a hot start or you're dead and buried. It helped that you got the Pirates early on, and you took them out. So the sense of urgency here, though, but the Angels continue to win and hit the ball, which has been a surprise, even though Kikuchi let him down in one of his starts earlier.
Yeah, and he's going tonight. Here's what I want Kikuchi to do. That story goes back to last year about how he basically said he's not himself unless he gets 12 hours of sleep. And then he was traded to the Astros, and we're like, hey, Mattress Mac.
Yep.
Must have set him up with some terrific mattresses at his house because Kikuchi got super hot down the stretch, right?
Phenomenal.
So that was like a running joke. I wish, you know how they have those apps and you can track your sleep every single night? I wish on game day Kikuchi would tweet out his sleeping numbers from the night before. That would be fantastic. Like if it was a rough night, right? Like it took him 90 minutes to fall asleep and he only got 6.5 hours. That's a bet against. But if the guy tweets out, hey, I went to bed last night at 10:30 and I slept until 9:15, what a great night of sleep for me, then I want to be involved.
Yep.
That would be...
Great thought.
How do we find something like that out? That's like getting that kind of an intel. Find out where the team is playing, their team hotel. Somehow call. Hey, this is Kikuchi's relative. Can you tell me if he's still sleeping or not? Can somebody go and check on him?
Ask a media member.
Can you go out? Can you go outside the door and hear he's snoring in room 1417?
How'd it go? Soft mattress? Food poisoning?
Right.
You all right? Good.
Wasn't
Good
it
thought.
Alan Boston, college basketball bettor, who called? He got the phone number.
He did. It's a great story. It's in the book The Odds by Chad Millman. It's a phenomenal read. It's he called posing as a member of the media.
That's what it was.
To get in and listen to the pregame show of a team. And as soon as he goes, okay, I'll put you on. And they put him on hold so we could listen to the feed. And when they hit the air, star player out, slipped on ice, hurt his wrist, whatever. Gold.
Yes.
He called Billy Walters, and that line disappeared. That's all she wrote.
That's what I'm
Great
talking
story.
about.
That is. That's excellent.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers have blown a 4-run lead.
Is that right?
Starting pitching's been horrendous here.
Oh, been terrible.
Yeah. It's 5-4 Nats in the third.
Wow.
Masters is here. Our partner Profit X offering the best odds all tournament long. Profit X is a peer-to-peer sports exchange available in 40-plus states. The first of its kind in the U.S. You'll be able to make your sports picks against other groups of fans rather than against the books. Exchanges guarantee the best odds on average by 10 to 20%. You can even request your own odds. Download Profit X today with code VSIN. Get up to $200 in profit cash over your first month. Profit X. Welcome aboard. Good to have you.
Well, here's another guy, too. You hate the Orioles pitching. I don't blame
it's
you.
a joke. Then Eflin got hurt. I know so many injuries. It's a disaster.
Here's one guy to circle. Much like Corbin yesterday, by the way. So if you faded Corbin again yesterday in various ways, you won your bets. Kramer is going right now for the Orioles. Dean Kramer, ERA on the year 7.53. The whip is 1.67. He's allowed 5 earned in Arizona today. They trailed the Diamondbacks 5-0. Brandon Pfaadt's been really, really good.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
Suarez, Morton, Eflin, Rodriguez, Kramer. Give me a break.
They let Burns go.
Yeah. Made a strong offer, I guess, but still, it's come on. They're going to blow this.
Yeah.
It's like, who cares how much talent you have if you're not going to use that young talent and acquire a stud, and you never make moves at the deadline.
Totally agree. All right, let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. We'll keep you up to date on these baseball scores throughout the show today. Up next, it feels like we have a lot of juicy props in the association. One player is 11-1 over his prop. Another guy 17-2 over 2 different props. We'll give you the players and their numbers next here on Follow the Money.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
It's going to be a tricky final few days in the NBA. It always is, because you never know really who's going to play, but specifically down the stretch, we would think the teams that are all jumbled up there in the Western Conference, they're going to play all their guys. But a team like OKC, for example, they opened up 12 tonight on the road against the Suns, just a complete dead team walking in Phoenix. But here's the problem. It's down to 7 right now. One spot has 6.5. The injury report for OKC going into this game, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is out. Lou Dort is out. Isaiah Hartenstein out. Cason Wallace out. And like 4 other backups as of right now out of this game.
Surprised they went for it last night as opposed to, I guess they wanted to. That could have backfired, though.
I think they wanted to feel good playing the Lakers. They weren't feeling very good before Luka got tossed. I know that.
It didn't work out, I'll tell you that. So, having said that, you still can't take it with the Suns. They just want the season over.
No, in fact, I'm texting my OKC buddy who watches every game. I'm like, which player props are we going to watch? I think I'll have an answer by the end of the show.
Good, excellent. Good. Let's get a prop right out of the way for the G-Bank best bet. He was questionable. Always check this. It's funky. But Grimes is at 24.5. Grimes on a 13-1 overrun with the points prop. There'll be no defense tonight.
No,
taking on the Wizards. Absolutely. Grimes, game log. 29, 28, 24, 26, 15. The one loser. 22, 26, 25, 28, 46, 28, 29, 35, 25. This guy's been an ATM. He's been incredible. Don't be concerned or worried if he starts off slow, because he really heats up in the second half and gets over these numbers. Grimes over points tonight, 24.5. G-Bank best bet. They're up in the ante with a $750 bonus for new G-Bank Visa Signature Card customers. And new customers who spend $1,000 on eligible purchases within 90 days from account opening get a $250 bonus. Now, if you spend $50,000 on gaming and sports app loads within the 30 days of account opening, another $500 bonus. Potentially a $750 bonus. Apply now, vsin.com/GBank, subject to credit approval. vsin.com/GBank. And you are exactly right about we can really get creative and some juicy player props tonight.
I want to look. Grimes has scored 20-plus points tonight. That's turned into like the new LeBron to score 10?
Yeah. At a much better price.
No kidding. In that same game, Jordan Poole, 8-2 over, 16.5 points last 10 games. So this team has 17 wins. Jordan Poole, down the stretch here, he can take as many shots as he possibly wants.
Yeah.
That's who he is anyway. So I think we kind of got to ride that one as well. Where I think, right, because the Wizards' defense is so bad, you kind of got to ride Grimes. As long as they're going to play him like 30-plus minutes in this game tonight, they don't yank him like in the second half. I think the same thing has to be said for Jordan Poole. Guy might take 20 shots in the game. So I like that one. The Bulls are playing in Miami against the Heat.
Big game. Good game. I was going to, 5-point move on the total. 223.5 up to 228.5. Everyone's in. This is all decided in the play-in, but you can move up, and the seed's big here too. And I love Chris Russo, but he was wrong today on ESPN. He was criticizing the Bulls for sitting everyone last night. Well, they're a 14-point dog. This is the big one. You're not going to win that game.
Yeah.
Sit these guys, and this is the game you go for here and try to beat Miami at home and pass them.
Yeah, this means more. So Josh Giddey, is he playing? Are you still seeing questionable?
I saw questionable, but his props are up there, yeah.
Right.
I don't see why not.
So 35.5 PRA, points, rebounds, and assists for Josh Giddey. He's 15-3 over that number last 18 games. He has been like close to a walking triple-double in these games too. He gets close if he doesn't have it like every single night. There's also this with Kobe White. How good is Kobe White? How good is Giddey, this combination?
Yeah, it's ridiculous stuff in the stat sheet going back.
Kobe White, 17-2 over 22.5 points last 19 games. Now, he had 21 against Miami on March 8th and 22 on February 4th, so he stayed under that number both games. He's also, you might want to take a peek at this one, when the PRA, points, rebounds, assists, is 30.5, which is what it is tonight, 17-2 over that number last 19 games. Both players, that team, super exciting, prolific, putting up huge numbers. So probably going to add both of those. And then in the Rockets-Clippers game tonight.
Look at this spread. I know Houston has nothing to play for, but wow.
Right.
L.A. is 8 at home, 8.5. They have won 15 of 18. That's a big point spread. But again, this is huge, though. Doors open. Memphis losing, Minnesota losing.
Right. So Kawhi is 11-1 over 5.5 rebounds last 12 games.
Excellent. Very good.
There is a player here that, again, I'm going to have to see the lineups tonight for the Rockets. You might want to see if books are going to offer anything on Reed Shepherd tonight for Houston if he gets a run. I think it was Tim Bontemps. If I'm wrong about that, I apologize. He said if Reed Shepherd, if the Rockets did not have guards in front of him, he'd be running away with Rookie of the Year. He doesn't get any playing time. And he comes up and he plays, I think in one game he played, I got to double check. He played in very few minutes. He scored like 14 points. The kid's awesome. He just can't get any playing time because everybody's in front of him.
See how they treat this, too, with the last 5 days, because they got the Lakers on deck as well. 10-point move on the side and a 9-point move on the total. Celtics were a 3-point favorite. They are now getting 7, and the total went from 216 to 207. Tatum's out. Brown's questionable. Porzingis is out. And after the overtime thriller in New York, I imagine they sit everybody. And Orlando trying to lock down the division and also get the 7 seed. So that's from +3 to -7. And I like them a lot. I like Denver. This is an interesting handicap.
Okay.
But there's a couple things here. Number one, it's a big shock to the system and a slap to the face saying, hey, you got this guy. I disagree with it. It's ridiculous. We've never seen it before. And the fact that with 3 games left in the season, you won the championship 2 years ago. It's not like you were in trouble. They had a top 4 seed when they whacked Malone and the GM. So now the coach gets fired. They're saying there was no relationship. They didn't talk. Adelman takes over as the interim. They've been horrible defensively, but Murray's been out. But then again, Sacramento locked up a spot in the play-in. So I don't think they go hard in this 3.5-point move here on Denver. So it's kind of like get busy living or get busy dying. If this doesn't wake them up and they show some intensity on the defensive end, then it will be a one and done in the playoffs, even though you have the best player in the world. So Denver -4.5 as well. Couldn't get the 1.
All right, player props in this game. Christian Brown, 6 straight games, over 15.5 points. Aaron Gordon, 6-1, over 3.5 assists last 7 games for the Denver Nuggets. Joker, how about this, Paul? His assist prop tonight is 10.5. He's 9-1 under that last 10 games.
Oh.
Under 10.5 assists. Zach LaVine, couple of Kings player props here. Zach LaVine, 7 straight games, under 4.5 assists. Careful here, though, because I think there's no Malik Monk in that game tonight. Yeah. And then Domantas Sabonis playing like under the radar. Fantastic basketball. 6-1 over 38.5 points, rebounds, assists last 7 games. All those numbers that we're talking about right now, you can go to vsin.com. You click on tools at the top and go to NBA Player Prop Analyzer.
All right. Sorry.
I was going to say, I brought up Reed Shepherd. Let me give you some of his games.
Sure.
He doesn't play. But when he does, against Utah this month, he played 8 minutes, scored 15 points. Going back to March against New Orleans, played 12 minutes, scored 6. Against OKC, his breakout game, he did play 31 minutes. He had 25 points in that game. But that was way, way early in March. So he's had these spots where he all of a sudden might get some playing time. So that's what I'm saying is if the Rockets decide to sit a bunch of players tonight because this game doesn't really matter to them, could be a good ladder possibility there with him.
And best for last, what do you want to do in the Laker game? Be careful with the Luka props. They're inflated.
You really are.
It's a huge game, though, for the Lakers. They have to win to get the 3 seed. So I don't think he's like, I'm coming out, I'm proving a point. This is personal, Nico, whatever. It's going to be it's the opposite of what you usually see. The fans loved them. It's more, they haven't had a sellout since they traded him, I believe. Mm-hmm. So it's the hatred toward the organization, and he's going to get the hero's welcome tonight, and it's all going to be teddy bears and ice cream. But the guy I want to look at is Anthony Davis, who's going to try to show the Lakers about, hey, why'd you trade me? We won a championship. And he could go. He's 27.5 with the points, but he could fill up the sheet tonight with doing everything as the Lakers don't have any big guys down low. And think about what Davis can do. And Dallas trying to lock up that play-in spot as well.
How about points and rebounds on AD, 36.5?
Okay, very good.
I mean, if the expectations are there to score 27 points.
Yeah, should be high scoring, yes.
Against the inside players for the Lakers, he can't gobble up 12, 15 rebounds tonight?
And he saw these guys in practice every day, too. So I don't think he's going to be concerned about Hayes and what they have down low as well. I also I'd rather have Reeves over than Luka for points.
Me too.
Because I just think he could defer tonight and get his teammates involved, knowing how big this game is and throwing out. And it was ridiculous what happened, but you could also say stop getting technicals. Don't put yourself in that position.
Reeves is 19.5 tonight. Did you know it was that low?
Mm-hmm.
He is 7-1 over that last 7 games. Also 6-1 over 2.5 made threes last 7 games as well. Dinwiddie for the Mavs, 7-0 over 2.5 rebounds last 7 games.
Marshall's only 12.5 too with the points.
Yeah.
But his run was over. Remember, he had that great run. It's a 12-1 over on whatever it was for points, but he's come back to the pack a little bit with that prop.
All right, let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mike Palm, VP Circa Sports, joins the program coming up next. He was on the wrong side of one of the worst beats in any sport that we've ever seen last night. That'll be a fun one to talk about again.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. It is Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mike Palm joins the program now. Unfortunately, not in studio. Very busy man, and life gets in the way once in a while. Mike, he is on the Progressive Guest Line. Good to talk to you, though. Take a couple of minutes here, buddy. And you were on the wrong end. Pauly said this earlier during Win Some, Lose Some. Forget hockey, like any sport, all time. To lose a Stars ticket last night, up by 3 goals with a minute to play, and it goes to overtime, and they lost, that's all-time bad.
I parlayed the Stars in regulation with the Detroit-Montreal under because that was the Red Wings' last stand last night, right? They had to get 2 points in regulation. So I thought that would be a playoff atmosphere in Montreal. That game went under. I have to be honest, when the Stars went up 3-0 in the second, I stopped paying attention. Then I paid a little attention. But then it's 5-2 with a minute to go. I didn't see it until it was in overtime and I had lost my ticket. Let's just put it that way. I was starting to look at the night's game. It's unbelievable with a minute to go with 30 seconds and 9 seconds. Pauly asked me earlier via text, can you think of a beat equivalent to that? I once had a soccer game and it was I'm trying to remember the road team. It might have been Minnesota, but it was at Seattle, and it was the first leg of an MLS playoff. And I had the road team plus a half a goal. And it was the first leg, and the road team was up 2-0 on the Sounders in the 90th minute, and they got to 90, and they put up plus 3 minutes, and I lost the game 3-2. and a half a goal. They scored 3 goals into 3 minutes of added time, which is, I think, about the most equivalent I can think of to scoring 3 goals in hockey in the last minute.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh man,
That's you're on the right track with the we compare it to. You're right, because you know how hard is it to score in soccer, and then crazy things can happen in hockey. But still, there's a minute left, and that's I think you're right on with what happened. And condolences on that one. It's ridiculous. I mean, no funky stuff can happen when you pull the goalie, but it's never happened before in NHL history, and it happened to Mike.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Well, I guess you win some and lose some, right? Because as bad as that one hurts, you've probably never had an easier future ticket in your life than UConn, and you had a nice bet on them, and you were preaching, right, to the masses for weeks here on VSiN that UConn, and you grabbed them at 4-1. You're like, this is the best team in the country. This number's absurd. And how many times are you going to have a team in the Final Four and in the championship game win by as many points as they did?
You know, it's unprecedented, Mitch. And I begged everybody at 4-1. They were ranked 7th at the time, and they were the 5th choice to take this team because I saw what they did to South Carolina, who was the next best team in the country. Think about their plus. Both of those teams, you'll never find this again in betting. That game on February 16th in Columbia, South Carolina was a 7.5-point favorite over UConn. UConn wins. Both teams go 12-0 the rest of the way, including 5 tournament victories to get into the championship game, and UConn's laying 8 when they rematch. It's a 15.5-point swing.
Yeah.
Neither team lost another game the rest of the way, and it was a 15.5-point swing. They beat 3 number 1 seeds by an average of 24 points a game, and the only team that kept it close was USC without Juju. It's just really remarkable.
It is, yeah. The USC gave them the toughest game, and they didn't have their best player. That's the game we wanted. But how about what they did to UCLA? They beat a 1 seed by 34 points.
UCLA had never been down by 8 points the whole year. They were down 20 at half. It was really remarkable how good this team was. And Paige, yeah, she had a lot of points, but I don't think she played her best basketball of her career. It was the supporting cast and Ozzie Fudd, obviously. I want to say one other thing about Dallas. DeBoer screwed this whole thing up. You know, they had a chance to catch Winnipeg for the 1 seed, and he had to play Ottinger in Minnesota because he's from Minnesota. So he screwed up his rotation. He played this damn to Smith against Pittsburgh and lost, and then Ottinger loses in Minnesota, and then they lose this game last night. They're not going anywhere giving up 45 shots a game, especially not to the Avalanche. Draw a line through Dallas. You will not see them come out of the West.
Very good. Strong take. How did the Crown go? And I know you went to the semifinals. The games were fantastic. We like what they did with some of the experiments with the rules, as I talked about yesterday with Derek in the final 2 minutes. What were your takeaways from the Crown?
I was very impressed. Look, I went Thursday, and then Derek and I went back for the semis. We were sitting right next to Leon Rice. Derek was actually in the chair next to Leon Rice, so we got an up-close and personal view of the college basketball game from almost right on the bench. They have to shorten it, Mitch and Paul. It's too much for fans to come out on Monday and then the championship game's on Sunday.
Okay.
They've got to get this to 3 or 4 days. It's just not feasible, right? And you know, Boise and Nebraska play on Wednesday, then they don't play again till Saturday. It was done first class, though. Really first class. And they came down and had a dinner. They had the day at the pool on Friday. They came down and had dinner at Barry's, and then we went up to the High Limit, the secret bar, and all that. I ran into an old friend of mine who's now the AD at Nebraska, Troy Dannon. He remembered a conversation we had on the phone 35 years ago when I was an 18-year-old high school umpire, and he was running the girls' union in Iowa. So it was really remarkable. We both had a lot more hair back then, but it was nice to meet up with Troy Dannon again.
And by the way, Derek Stevens, owner of this property as well, Mike, comes on with us every single Tuesday, as you know. He could not have been stronger on this event yesterday. He's adamant that this is going to go nowhere, and it's only going to get bigger and better.
I agree with that, and the NIL money will be a key. Can they get it up? I mean, they gave away $300,000 this year, or $500,000 this year, with $300,000 to Nebraska, the winning team. Can they get it to $1 million next year? They got really good corporate sponsors. It was fun. I got to hang out after the semifinals. Jim Jackson, who was here on Friday, and Christina Pink came down. I hung out and watched the Duke Houston game with them, so I had a lot of fun with it.
Yes, Gus Johnson was strong about it, saying on air go get up to $10 million, and you were the first guy to say this could be the end of the NIT as well.
Well, definitely is the end of the NIT. Why do you think the NCAA went around to these states and said to make sure they knew they weren't sponsoring this event to try to not get it booked? And they were successful in New York, New Jersey, and Illinois, but they're definitely afraid this will be the end of the NIT, and I think it will be within 3 years.
Yeah. Well, I can't thank you enough, by the way, for including me. And, when you ask everybody at VSiN to be in these blackjack tournaments and for that to cash with me getting Florida in, second overall in that blackjack tournament, tip of my cap, friend. Thank you so much for having us involved yet again.
Well, I think you had a fun ride with it at least, right? And you got a hell of a lot of sweats. I'll remember this as the tournament of the teams down double digits coming back. I mean, all 3 games in the Final Four, the team that led at the under 4-minute timeout lost. Texas Tech had you dead to rights. I think you played it very well. People want to criticize hedging. I mean, you really didn't even hedge. We know what you hedged because you bet it here, but you really didn't even hedge that much. You still had a really strong position on Florida in the game. Obviously, it was, really a toss-up game, but congrats to you, Mitch. I think you played it right along the way, and I know you had a lot of fun with it, and it was good publicity for everybody.
So
right.
you've been saying this, and by the way, like you throw the word hedging out, like you think that's a bad word to use, like almost a curse word. You call it monetizing your ticket. So, I mean, you absolutely would have been hedging along the way, yeah?
Well, for sure. And if you could wind up with 50% of what your payout was at the end of the day and still made sure you made 15, 20, 30,000 along the way, I think you're doing it right. I mean, why would it's like you found it behind a trash can. It was just all these things came together. Now, why wouldn't you make sure that you made some money? You'd have been sick if you hadn't done anything along the way and all of a sudden Houston hits a 3 at the buzzer.
Sure.
You'd be sick. You would never have gotten it out of your mind for the rest of your life.
Well, Mike, I was sick for 2 hours watching the game. Florida had like little business at all winning it, right?
I'm not sure, but I sure hated the way they officiated the game in the second half versus the first half.
Yep.
Nobody likes that. If you watch the Crown games, they had such a good pace. The teams weren't even getting to the bonus in the halves unless they were fouling intentionally at the end of the game. That's a much better game. I talked to Jim Jackson and Gus Johnson. It's just much better for everybody when you let them play.
Yeah. By the way, how good is Jim Jackson?
This guy could be playing today. He's one of the most charismatic people I ever met. I watched him because I had courtside seats. I mean, everybody comes by, said hello to Jim Jackson that was in those arenas this week.
Yeah.
Incredible life and career. I got to talk to him for 2 hours when he came
no kidding.
in.
Yeah.
He held out for almost his whole rookie season. He's played a lot of, we didn't even mention the Tony Braxton story either, but what a life and what a career. Thanks for that too, Mike. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I gave him a few jabs along the way about losing to the Fab Five in '91. I said, Jesus Christ, you handled him easily the first 2 meetings. You couldn't handle him in Rupp Arena. He said, don't bring it up.
Bring it up, yeah.
Got that.
Thanks, Mike. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
That line he mentioned, too, about the publicity involved. I mean, if you're a high-limit blackjack, slots, or sports bettor, and you hear they're doing this all-star break twice for the NFL season, March Madness, to do that.
I already have people who I know who emailed their host. They're like, what do I have to do?
That's
I
right.
want to get involved.
Yep. Plan your Vegas getaway, by the way. Derek Stevens offering you 15% off at 3 great properties, Circa, the D, and Golden Gate. CircaLasVegas.com, code VSiN15. Get 15% off your stay. CircaLasVegas.com. Book a cabana, hang with us, whatever you want to do. Restaurant reservations, berries, CircaLasVegas.com, code VSiN15.
But up next, we'll get into a discussion here of which beat was worse. And here you go. Looks like we have a pretty good example of you need a bottle of whiskey and a revolver to bet Major League Baseball with what's going on in one of these games. We'll update the scoreboard next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, so one of the best lines ever uttered on the airwaves here on VSiN from Nick Bogdanovich years ago when we were doing mornings. Nick, a longtime oddsmaker here in Las Vegas, sports gambling Hall of Famer, joins the show with us on Mondays. He said that talking about baseball, you need a bottle of whiskey and a revolver to bet the sport. It was just like it came out of nowhere. It was incredible.
We still sell those on the website? We used to.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, it's Bill 80 question. VSiN.com. We used to sell the T-shirts. A guy wore one when he met Nick when he used to work for William Hill, and he saw him at an event in Nebraska.
That's right.
Came right up to him.
So here's maybe an example of that today. The Reds were leading the Giants 6-1 going to the bottom of the sixth. It's now 6-5, and the Reds eventually got out of it, and the Giants had 2 runners on, actually, and could have done more damage. Like, nothing is safe. You never know what's going to happen here. Earlier today, Dodgers, 4 runs in the first. Oh, they're back, baby. The losing streak's going to get... Oh, hold on. They give up 3 in the bottom half, and now they trail 5-4 in the sixth.
Even cash first 5?
Nope.
Yep.
Nope. First
Already
5...
pitching.
Think about that. You had the... What do you think the... Nationals were first 5 down 4-1. I don't even look at that stuff.
Right.
They come back and win the first 5.
Yep. Could get swept here. Starting pitching's been brutal. Crazy.
And Diamondbacks leading the Orioles 7-0. Again, Dean Kramer got rocked here for Baltimore. Keep your eye on him. Circle him when he's going to start from now on, moving forward. Brandon Pfaadt, pretty good today.
Yep.
6 innings, only 3 Ks, but he gave up no runs whatsoever. And Houston is leading Seattle 4-0, bottom of the 5th. Let's see here. Let's check the old scoreboard. Seattle has 2 hits and 2 errors. And if they don't get any across here, well, if they don't score at least 4 runs, they're going to drop to 1-11-1 in the first 5. And that was Hunter Brown today.
Astonishing.
And
121 average on the season with runners in scoring position. You got to be bleeping me.
now the Astros took money, but they had to take money today, right? With Hunter Brown going against Luis Castillo, number 2.
Yeah.
Number 1 went last night, the good one, the good version of Luis Castillo. And then you have a bunch of other games coming up tonight as well. Blue Jays, 9 straight unders in the first 5. Tonight is Houck versus Gossman. And the Angels are in first place. I told you that Paris kid did it again last night. He had a really good game. I'm not going to tell
I
you
got the wrong guy? I thought, is you rather Paris or O'Hop?
I like Paris.
Okay.
Maybe a stolen base prop. The home runs I don't think are going to continue, but maybe I think the stolen bases absolutely will.
Yeah. And we got to keep taking advantage of that with the Cubs and then Texas. With the Cubs, they lost today, but they were down big, so they stole 9 bases in 9 attempts the first 2 games of the series. Texas has allowed 25 steals in 26 attempts on the season. That was going into today.
Let me find out.
And as I said earlier, Ryan is 6-0 with a 1.49 in 8 starts against the Royals. Twins have won all of them. He goes later today against Lugo.
Well, guess who Texas plays this weekend?
Okay.
There's nothing good here to look at in terms of stolen bases. DeGrom goes in Seattle Friday night. I mean, are they going to have 1 base runner against that guy? So I'm not going to run out and be betting Mariners guys to steal bases against him. He's taking on Bryce Miller, by the way.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not going to get on.
Boy, that's going to be... What's DeGrom going to be in the first 5?
I thought you were going to say Angels. Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm surprised you're going to pose this question. It's fun. I know we're a betting network, and it's fun, but this is what the worst beat was last night.
Well, I know which one is worse, but... I mean, I don't think we can sleep on how brutal the Wolves loss was.
Considering what was on the line.
No kidding. They would have been
Fair.
the 4 seed. They were in fact, with 10 minutes to go in the game, up by that many points, they were currently sitting as the 4 seed in the Western Conference.
Right.
And they were up by 24 points.
Correct.
And the Bucks went on a 23-0 run, and it was Giannis playing with basically backups.
Yep. It's like, I'm like, do they want to win this game? I look up late in the second quarter. Giannis only had like 5 attempts and 4 points. And then they turn it on, and Minnesota bleeps the bed, and they blow that lead. But again, stuff like that happens in the NBA a couple times a year. What happened in the hockey game had never happened in the history of the sport.
Yeah, that's the worst
And
beat,
why
for
would
sure.
it? Yeah. Dallas up 3 goals with a minute left, and they lose it. Minnesota up 24 in the fourth quarter, and they blow it. Now, imagine if it could have been worse, like if they were catching points. They opened 2, closed 6. But imagine if Minnesota was getting like 5 or 4.
No,
they
for sure.
couldn't even cover the damn game.
Right.
If
but
that would have happened. But then they lose by 7.
There's no reason that you absolutely should have covered that game. Now, here's the thing. If you want to go for middle spots, and you laid it with the Wolves last night, right? You were able to grab an awesome middle or take a shot at a middle anyway with the Bucks when the Wolves were crushing them the entire time.
Yeah.
And up by that big. This team confuses me maybe more than any other team in the NBA because I don't know when it's coming. That's the thing.
Right. It also leads to, again, the discussion of 7 teams can make the conference finals in the West.
And I think
it's wide open.
Honestly,
Sure.
I mean, are you going to be shocked if Minnesota makes it that far?
A little bit, yeah, because I'm concerned about the supporting cast, but and the chemistry. But certainly, it comes down to matchups, though, too, because these teams are so good, and are they playing Golden State in the first round? Are they playing the Lakers? Are they playing the Clippers? Likely. Do they get the how do I want to say it? Work out for them? 2-7 if they play Houston? Maybe it's a better matchup for them? I don't know. But you're going to have to face a good team right from the get-go and the jump. That's by the way, that's also what the owner said yesterday at Denver, that he didn't want to get in the play-in situation, which also could happen with Denver, even though it was a ridiculous decision. But you can say that about a lot of teams here. Like the Clippers are won 15 of 18. They could go out in the first round. It's like you might get Clippers-Lakers right off the bat. Look, put that up with the seeding possibilities. I talked about this the other day, that the Clippers had a 13% chance to get the 4, 20 to get the 5, 18 to get the 6, 20 to get the 7, and 25 to get the 8, because they all have the same record. Look at this. All the seeding possibilities in the West. And again, the craziest thing I've seen in 40 years watching sports, the Lakers somehow win every single tiebreaker over the 5 teams below them. So why they only have to get 2 more wins here to lock it up. But look at that.
Yeah,
I can get the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, or even the 8.
Yeah, all
why
6
that was
teams
so
can.
bad for Minnesota. Right, yeah, right. Nuts. Isn't that wild?
Well, I mean, for sure. I mean, who wants to be the 7 or the 8?
Yeah.
Who wants to be involved in the play-in?
Yeah, and then likely OKC. One of them, right?
Yeah, you want to avoid that at all costs.
Yeah, I know.
And last night, somehow, they just...
Right. That's
how do you not...
Right, that's the other discussion. Memphis fired their coach. Denver fired their coach and the GM. All these teams had expectations. A lot of them are going out in the first round or not making it to the conference finals.
Very true.
Then what other changes are going to happen?
I'm sure Finch is gone.
Uh-huh.
I mean, because they have had so many inexcusable losses like last night. Here's what I don't understand. Again, when it's the Bucks and it's Giannis, and that's pretty much it last night, making that run, right? How like you can't, like timeouts aren't working? You can't draw something up out of a timeout to go and, like, who's your bucket getter, right?
Yeah.
Who's the guy? Can you draw up a play where it's going to be, you don't need an open 3. Draw up like an easy dunk or a simple layup, because that's what you need at that time. And you cannot break a 23-0 run by the Bucks, like C- team playing with Giannis. That's such a bad result overall for that team. And again, this team on any given night, when nobody's paying attention, they'll lose as a 14-point favorite to Charlotte.
Yep.
But then when they're on national TV,
Good point.
and it's a big game and everybody's watching, they will bring their absolute A game against the best team in the NBA. And maybe that's what it's going to be.
And they should have been the 2 or 3 seed. That's why they're in this position. All those bad losses.
Right.
And when they went into Denver, or when they punked Denver twice, they said, hey, the schedule's easy coming up. Randall said it. And then they came out and stubbed their toe. Police were called to Tyreek Hill's home. They departed without further incident. The case was closed. There was apparently an argument between him and the wife. And then we still don't have anything on Aaron Rodgers. And what our guest Tim Benz said last week, apparently nothing scheduled with McAfee when McAfee goes to Pittsburgh as well. So as the world turns with that, can you make a decision? Is this...
No kidding.
Come on now.
I'm actually surprised that Hill hasn't been traded yet. But how many teams are going to have interest in him?
Well,
he's a great player,
right.
But
yeah, but certainly he's asked for trade requests now.
Yeah, right.
Lost his mind after the final game against the Jets. Want to know where the money's really going? Unlike other sources, our betting splits come straight from Circa and DraftKings. Circa takes huge bets from pro bettors. See the percentage of bets versus percentage of handle on every game across every major sport, helping you make smarter, more informed decisions. Get the summer special right now, $59. VSiN.com/subscribe. Goes to August 1st. Every best bet, every host, every guest. The betting splits, the 24/7 video access, the prop analyzer as well. VSiN.com/subscribe.
Kind of hoping that baseball would schedule like 5 to 8 day games every single day, Monday through Friday. I think that'd be awesome. Not just like Wednesday, Thursdays. You can have more day games occasionally. Up next, a star player is favored to land with a team in the NFL draft that I don't believe is taking him. Real or Fugazi is next.